We're good to go.
Good morning, it's 9:35, and I apologize for our late start, but I will call our December meeting of the Delaware County TID Board to order and ask you to stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, good morning. My name is Chris Boserman. I'm the Delaware County Engineer. I have the privilege of chairing our TID board. To my right is our Vice Chair, Tracy Davies, County Administrator. Cy Keeley is our Secretary Treasurer, who is absent today. And to my far left are two members at large, Tom Price and Pat Blaney. Thank you for our board to be here. We do have a quorum, and we'll continue with business. Is there any public comment for the meeting today? Joe and Ron, you are the sum total of public, and thank you. And I also should recognize County Commissioner Jeff Benton, who is in attendance this morning. Jeff, thank you for being here. We have the need to approve minutes from two of our previous meetings. We did not have the August minutes available at our October meeting, and so I would entertain a motion to approve the August 9th and October 11th meeting minutes.
So move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Are there any reports from board members?
Not at this time.
Okay. The Secretary Treasurer's report will defer because Cy is not with us this morning. So we'll review and accept that report at our next meeting. And with that, we're all ready to item 6, which is our staff report, and I'd ask Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer, to fill us in.
All right, well, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The staff report I included in the packet, I'll go through that quickly. I do have a couple of resolutions for you involving the Silicon Heartland projects. As you will recall, these are a number of projects that ODOT and the Governor's Office laid out earlier this year where relating to the Intel project, and we're very fortunate in that ODOT and the state are supporting 3 projects located on County Line Road, Licking Delaware County Line Road. As you may recall, 2 of those projects involve county roads, county road intersections. Those are projects number 4 and 8 on the map. Essentially, what the arrangement we've reached with ODOT is that we will develop those as local projects. ODOT will then reimburse the cost of those projects to the TID. So what we're proposing is your board already approved at the last meeting the grant agreement, the resolution 2023-05. I guess I'm going out of order, but 2020-05 would then agree with have an agreement between the Board of Commissioners and the County Engineer and the TID, where the county will actually develop those projects up through the right-of-way and utility relocation phase. As county projects, the TID would then reimburse the county for those costs. We think that makes the most sense because the county already has pre-qualified consultants, is already accustomed to developing projects through design and right-of-way acquisition phase. It will frankly just be easier for us at the County Engineer's Office to develop the projects that way. So that's the explanation for 2023-05. And And then 2023-04, this is the third intersection, number 7 on the map. This is the Route 37 county line intersection. That intersection, ODOT has agreed to develop as a ODOT project. And unfortunately, due to the need to, since the funds have already been appropriated and encumbered for the TID, essentially what we end up doing is swapping checks with ODOT. We will reimburse District 6 for the engineering expenses, and then central office will in turn reimburse the TID. So it's again, kind of a clumsy arrangement, but it's just the nature of how the original encumbrance was made for the Silicon Heartland program. So happy to answer any questions on those. That's a quick explanation of those two items. In terms of status update, the county has already entered into agreement with the EMH&T for the design of the two south projects, number 4 and number 8. Those will be designed basically as one project, 2 separate standalone intersections, but we're intending to build those as a single project. They will be phased. I don't think we can close both those intersections at the same time. So as it stands now, we would expect to go to construction on those probably late 2025. We do have a deadline to complete those intersections no later than the end of 2026 per the funding, the grant agreement. So we'll work through those pretty quickly. I'm confident we can meet that schedule, though.
Is that fiscal year 26, Rob, or is that?
That is
calendar?
calendar.
It's calendar.
26.
Okay.
Yes. If there's no questions on that, I'll move on to the next project. This is our interchange at Route 3637 I-71. We have been making good progress on this project. MS Consultants just recently filed stage 3 plans, approximately 95% complete plans. Those are currently under review by our office and ODOT. So we're on track to hopefully go out to bid on that project probably in 2025. It'll take about a year to acquire the right-of-way, as there are some large parcels that will be needed, but that's underway. I don't have a whole lot more to add other than there may be some funding available through ODOT's Connect for Ohio program. None of this is finalized, but I've given you kind of a preview as to what I think we can expect, but the formal announcement for that has not been made. So the good news is the legislature has supported ODOT's track program and intends to help really local agencies with the share that they're contributing to those projects. And so look for more information on that. This is what we know now, but as subject to change always, but we'll keep you up to date certainly by the next meeting with any formal announcements. So I guess that's a current, that's an update on that project. Any questions on that?
I was just going to add, if this funding does come to fruition that Rob referred to, the next sections that the county would initiate on this project are sections D and E, which would extend from the interchange to the west. Do I have those letters right? B and C. Thank you. But the section that would go from the interchange west, meeting back with the existing 3637 alignment near the Africa Road intersection, we're looking to advance construction of those phases, but we really didn't have funding identified for those. And so if this money's available, some of our commitment for funding that went to that's for phase A, we could leverage and move to those phases. So it's not only good news about the interchange itself, but our ability to complete other phases of it.
I believe there was also some money identified in Connect 4 Ohio for Phase C, which would be helpful.
That's correct. There was potentially a small amount that would be eligible for use on Phase C. We're still a little bit away from being able to use that money, but yes, you're correct.
Could you refresh our memories on what entails Phase B and Phase C?
Yeah, so Phase B and C would, so just backing up another step, Phase A is just the interchange
Right.
itself, includes the ramp terminal intersections. Phase B and C would extend from that west ramp intersection all the way up to Route 36 at the RV dealership.
Right, I knew that, but I just want to know what the separation was between B and C.
Where the dividing line is between B and
Thank
C, is that your
Yeah,
question?
yeah,
So, Phase B was originally intended to extend west to 3Bs and K
Okay,
Road.
all
And we
right.
feel like it probably makes sense to go ahead and combine B and C.
Gotcha.
Building B alone would be of minimal independent use.
And C was tied into B.
from there to
Yeah.
Africa.
C was, from Africa Road down to 3Bs and K. But
Okay.
yeah, again, it probably makes more sense just to do this as a single construction
Yeah,
project.
With January meeting being canceled, is time of the essence to wait till February on what all's going on?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna need some time to work through a contract for Phase B and C, and there's still some unknowns on the Connect for Ohio project or program. So I really wanna sort through those, through the holidays and into January before we're able to bring in a contract for design. I'll move on to Bale Canyon Road. If you've been in that neck of the woods recently, we are about 90% complete with that project. Again, that's a cooperative effort between Orange Township and Delaware County Engineers Office. Actually, they're probably out there paving today. We are targeting completion of that project, or substantial completion, next week. It may look close to done at the end of this week, but we have some guardrail to put up that will probably go into next week. So very close to being done on that, and then you'll recall that this board was providing a $500,000 grant to Orange Township to help with the cost of that. And so that would be paid out next summer once we get an invoice from Orange Township.
It, just to add to that, it may be of interest to the board that this project and two other of our major projects this year all sat idly for sometimes up to 2 months, waiting for utility relocations that had been coordinated a year and a half ago. So Rob and some of our staff met with AEP yesterday to confront that issue, and they've pledged not to let that happen again. But it is a recurring problem in our world that one utility's inability or unwillingness to move can shut everything down on these projects, and we really suffered from that in a big way. And Bale Canyon is probably the worst. It's probably the worst example.
Did that cause any delay claims?
They actually told us yesterday, send us the delay claims and they'll pay them. So I'd rather have it done on time.
Yeah.
than have the delay claims covered. But we will see delay claims out of all those projects.
Yeah.
On that point, I think that's we got some explanation as to the delays. We recognize, and we've been told and acknowledge the issues with getting labor, particularly in line workers and contracted crews to do the work is real. It's a problem. It's not just here locally, it's nationally, getting a number of, or having available line workers to do the actual work. And So many of the contract crews are called to other parts of the state and other parts of the country. And so it's an issue, there's no question, and I know the utility owners are doing what they can, but in this case, we have a real issue that has occurred as a result. I mean, we're 2 to 3 months behind schedule on this project because we had poles in the new road. So, but with that said, I think that's past us. We're getting close to finishing up the project and hope for the best next year.
Well, you know, talking about labor shortages, there's also still issues of supply chain, timing. How are you folks affected with supply chain timing? I suppose the utilities are too, but what are you seeing on your projects? Anything from the contractors on that? Are they able to get the supplies they need?
Yeah, so it's a great question, Pat. For some of the, I would say, specialty or traffic control products such as traffic signal poles, electronics, that wait is pretty long. It was always several months to get certain products. That has doubled or tripled in some cases. Traffic poles were a notorious long lead item, typically in the range of 7 or 8 months. That is over a year now to get traffic poles for new signals. And so that part has not gotten any better. What has gotten better is cement and concrete products. Last year we had a terrible time getting concrete and cement on time because it was rationed throughout central Ohio. This year we've not had that problem, fortunately. Asphalt, fortunately, was really never a problem. We can get that without an issue. Steel is a little bit hit or miss, but generally it seems to be kind of the special electronic and traffic control products that are the holdup.
Okay, thank you.
If there's nothing further on that, on the 2024 budget, I do apologize. I did not include that in the packet, but Ally was kind enough to print that out for us this morning, and you have a copy of that. I'll take a moment just to walk through that rather than defer that to the resolution, but starting from the top, as you know, the county commissioners are supporting the TID in a big way. We have a $1 million pledge that has been budgeted in the county's budget and approved for 2024. That will go into the general fund, which we can later transfer to the capital fund as needed. Next line on the local revenues, we do have another $600,000 outstanding deposit to be made from the county towards the Phase A design contract. For Phase B and C, we just talked about a moment ago, I have plugged in a placeholder, I guess, of $1.5 million for the Phase B and C initial deposit. That is still to be determined. I did want to make sure we got something in there in the event we're able to get an agreement early next year with the county commissioners to advance B and C. But that is not determined yet. Again, just a placeholder for now. And then you'll recall 2021 the River B project, we are receiving the special assessments. That'll be about $29,500 for next year. Next group down, the state revenues, the 2 Silicon Heartland projects that we just discussed, those funds will be paid into the capital fund on a reimbursement basis. Fees and interest, we are collecting a good bit of interest on our deposits, so Cy can probably speak more to that next year when we meet in February and give us an update there. And then finally, transfers, we do intend to transfer some of that general fund balance over to the capital fund. That's really just an accounting exercise to pay for some of the expenses down below. I'll skip the general supplies. That stuff is pretty self-evident. For professional services, we will have approximately $900,000 of expenses remaining on Phase A. for the interchange project. Again, the next line, that 1.5 million, is a placeholder for now until we finalize that. May come back to you in February with either a supplement or potentially a reduction, just depending on how much that is. And then again, the two Silicon Heartland projects, those will be paid out or as reimbursement. The first one to Delaware County, the second reimbursement will go back to ODOT. Again, the trading of checks. Attorney's fees, financial services, we have a small amount provided there for use. And then finally, road construction, the payments to Orange Township for both Phase 1 and Phase 2 are shown there. You'll recall at the last meeting, we discussed providing a $750,000 grant to Orange Township towards Phase 2. I will be working on a project agreement for that once we finalize the actual construction costs and the timeframes for that. So expect to see something probably in February, potentially the meeting after that. And then finally, you'll see down in the transfers out group, the transfer out to the capital fund from the general fund. So skip all the way to the bottom, you'll see that the projected end of this year balance, beginning of next year balance is about $2,484,000. We are projecting that we would end 2024 with a total balance of about $1,974,000. So still a pretty healthy carryover balance, which we can certainly allocate towards future projects, but I think it's in the TID's best interest to maintain some cash so we have ability to fund projects as they come up throughout the year. So that is a quick rundown of the budget. Again, apologize for that coming to you so late, but glad to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for Rob on the budget?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
And that concludes my report.
Just one general question, really on the second phase of Vail Canyon. Do we know yet if Orange Township was successful in their OPWC application?
We do not. That,
Okay.
the integrating committee for District 17 will be working through that early next year.
Okay, that's what I thought. It was early next year. I can't remember.
Chris would know better.
Probably
than I do.
know sometime around the end of February.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob, thank you for your report and your good and thorough work. Appreciate it. So we have 3 resolutions before us that are all based on Rob's explanations. The first is Resolution 2023.04, and that's the Route 37 County Line Road Project Agreement with the Department of Transportation.
Mr. Chair, I would just add, as further explanation for this is what ODOT calls their preliminary legislation, and this would allow you as chair to execute future agreements within the context of this agreement to basically the final project agreement will have to be executed as well, but this would provide authority to Mr. Bosman to do that.
Thank you.
So this is the one we're considering, or a roundabout on 37.
Yes, all 3 of the intersections would be single lane roundabouts. This is probably well, I was gonna say this is the oddest one. It's really not. This is a skewed intersection, so it's not a perfect 90-degree intersection. So there would need to be some realignment of the county road or county line road approaches, but ODOT is gonna be working through that shortly.
So we're continuing the process of putting roundabouts not only on county roads, but on state routes now?
Yes.
And is this, I'm looking at roundabouts on the state route in a skewed way, because our goal on state routes is to get traffic through fast, and roundabouts, why wouldn't we put an overpass here on a state route?
Cost is really the major deciding factor there. We worked with ODOT for quite a while now, and I think we're on the same page as ODOT in terms of the safety benefit of roundabouts. That's really the way we're looking at, particularly the single lane roundabouts. They are,
So is that, I beg the question now, we're gonna put roundabouts on 23?
very unlikely. Roundabouts work wonderfully up to a certain point, but when you get
I'm
too
thinking
much
out
traffic-
10 years or 15, 20 years, this roundabout on 37, my estimation is gonna be a mistake.
So you'll recall that, I don't know, what was it, a year ago, Chris, we went through an exercise with, involving Licking County, looking at the Intel, related traffic projections. A single lane roundabout should work here fine for the next 20 years or so. Now, it will reach a point where the delays start to, become notable, but I think my philosophy at least, and I think the philosophy of our office, is that even if you can get 10 to 15 good years out of a single lane roundabout, that's a win, because we know that that single lane roundabout will operate safer than any other intersection type. And so even if that design life is maybe slightly shorter than what you might get out of another alternative, it's bang for the buck, very good investment. Again, frankly, the safest possible intersection you can have at grade. And this roundabout, of course, will be designed by ODOT to ensure that trucks are accommodated. The downside of traditional intersections is that there is not yet enough traffic on County Line Road to warrant a traffic signal. And so even if you were to put turn lanes on Route 37, there would not be enough traffic to warrant a signal there. So that's really all we could get there if not for a roundabout. So, but I hear your point, Tom, about concerns about the future traffic. So.
Yeah. When you put trucks, and the trucks traffic on 36, 37 is gonna go from scale of 2 to 8 in the next 5 years with Intel and everything. And you put a truck through a roundabout, it takes him another mile to get up to speed. And it's not like a car going through a net roundabout.
Yeah, I agree with that, but if that prediction holds, and I'm not doubting your prediction on how much the traffic's gonna increase, it would meet the warrant for a signal, and instead of a truck slowing down to go through a roundabout, it'd come to a complete stop and wait through a cycle of a traffic signal, and then take them just as longer to get up to speed. So there's no, I don't think there's a scenario where ODOT would look to be building that grade separated interchanges on Route 37 in this immediacy related to the development activity there. It's that we know traffic's going to increase, and we really have a choice between doing turn lanes and eventually a traffic signal, excuse me, when the traffic warrants it, or we can build a roundabout. Those are really our two options that are on the table. And clearly the roundabout is safer, and in most cases, probably more efficient in terms of keeping traffic moving. To your original point of wanting to get traffic moving faster through these intersections, we'd like them to go safer through the intersection, but they'll move more efficiently through the roundabout than they will a traffic signal. And those are the only options.
Traffic signals, I understand that.
Yeah.
And safety, I understand. You got a major route here, 36, 37, come from Intel to 42, 70, everything's gonna go through that roundabout.
The opening day improvements for Intel do not include adding lanes or grade separated interchanges anywhere along the Route 37 corridor. But ODOT understands that the emphasis and demand on that corridor are going to change. I would echo Rob's comment that if this roundabout lasts 20 or 30 years, it won't be a mistake. It'll be a real success. If we can get that kind of time out of it, and I don't think we will. I view this as a short-term safety solution to a bigger problem that's coming. But this isn't a Route 37 County Line Road question. This is what's ODOT gonna do from 71 over to Johnstown to deal with the traffic related to Intel?
So the single lane roundabout versus a double lane roundabout like we've got at Plain City wasn't an option on this.
We don't have additional lanes on 37 or on County Line Road to deal with, so having additional lane roundabouts
Wouldn't make any difference.
on one lane in and out doesn't change the efficiency of that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll move approval.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Resolution 23-05 approves the project agreement with the Delaware County Commissioners for the County Line Road improvements at Center Village and Fancher Roads. I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 23.06 will approve our 2024 budget. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, is there any objection to us canceling the January 10th TID board meeting? Hearing none, we will we'll cancel that, and our next meeting then will be February, anybody have that date yet?
14th.
14th, thank you. Is there other business to come before our board today? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a
Second.
second? Any objection? Without objection, we stand adjourned.